Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to Beaux's Happy Hour, shooting you from the Dark Continent. I'm still in Africa. I show a little bit of housekeeping, I guess. I have no intro song, so I guess I got to roll right into it. I should be getting home in time for Halloween, so I have my costume all set and ready, and I plan on spending it with my daughter up in Massachusetts, which will be fun. But I don't want to jinx myself, so I still until I get my ticket and I'm on my way home. I don't want to declare anything. I don't know if it's a fun show, but it's a show. Basically, I'm just telling you about my life and just keeping everybody up to date. I mean, it's really for friends and family because who the fuck am I, right? Other notes to housekeeping is this shirt. I'm not trying to LARP as a SEAL. This is a logo for One More Wave, which is like a veterans outreach type of deal. That's about it. Let's kick it off. Big news in the real news, the No Kings protest, which, to be honest, I feel like that's just a big, stupid LARP because, one, I mean, whether you like Trump or not, he won the popular vote in the Electoral College, and you're able to protest on the street. I personally am not a big fan of Trump anymore. He's failed on pretty much everything he said he was going to do, whether it's releasing the Epstein files to not starting new wars. So I think he's controlled by who, I don't know, or I can't say for sure. So I'll just leave it at that. But the big problem I have with this whole protest is that it's just a fucking, if you were for masks, forced vaccination, arresting your political rivals, and the whole rule of law, like allowing mayhem on the streets or support mayhem on the streets, that's fuck you. I mean, that's the best way to sum it up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I still hate the people who tried to fucking force vaccinate people, and the people who tried to make me wear masks. I mean, I actually fought one guy on a subway platform once, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, that's a story I could probably get into, and I mean, what the hell else am I gonna do? I mean, I've got you for an hour or less. So I was coming home. I forget where I was traveling from, and it was like March, and the mask laws, I think, actually just ended in New York when I got back, and I was in Kennedy Airport, and I was getting ready to go into the little tube, the monorail that goes around the airport. And I'd say stop me if you heard this one before, but whatever. And this guy, he puts his hand in my chest and touches me, and he's like, you can't come on. So I fucking knock it out. I was like, why? He's like, no mask. I was like, all right. So I spit in his face, and I walked over onto the next car. And then I had my dog McQueen with me at the time, and just went along. I'm just kind of reeling from the whole experience. And I was telling some guy, and we stop at the next, and out of nowhere, the guy comes and he grabs me. He's like, oh, you like to punch people? So I just fucking rabbit punched him in the head, came in, hip tossed, rolled around with him a little bit. And then I got up, cocked back and hit him, but I stopped myself because some lady said, I got your dog. So it kind of knocked me out of my senses a little bit. I also thought for a second, I'm in a dominant position. If I fucking follow through and punch this guy in the fucking head, one, don't know if I'd stop myself. And two, I'm on camera. I've already won. And I'm showing, being the bigger man, letting the motherfucker up. I let the guy up. I was like, you done? He's like, I'm done. He gets up and he goes and runs off. So I'm just standing on the platform. I get my dog back, of course. And the lady's sticking around. Because when the cops show up, the cops come over to me. I basically told them the whole story, minus the fact that I spit in his face. But he's wearing a mask. I mean, that's what the whole purpose of the mask is, right? So you don't get fucking particles in it. Anyway, the lady who had stopped, the older broad, she was like, officers, that young man said everything the truth and blah, 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 blah. And then the cops were all like, well, what do you want us to do? I was like, well, you got him in custody. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, to be honest, officers, I never want to see you guys again in your face. Tell them Jesus loves them and have a nice day. And that was the end of that. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why I have issues with the fucking mask people. I mean, I can keep going, but why rehash the shit that just pisses me off? Well, you know what? Mine as well. Because other things that happened to me during that time were walking around New York, because I never wore a fucking mask, because it just, it didn't, COVID didn't exist after certain hours of the day, or you had to eat outside in the wintertime, and people would look at me like an asshole for walking down the street with a mask on. Well, they're sitting down with one off, and then they would get up and put one on. Like, now, if I saw a guy who was wearing a mask while he was sitting down outside, I actually had respect for him, because at least he's like following true to all the shit, It's like you're not just being performative, and that's what so many people are. They're goddamn performative in their virtue shit. Yeah, you could you could hate Trump, but then fucking hate him. But don't throw. It's like it was just fucking the elderly out there LARPing around like assholes. It was fucking theater, and it was probably a bunch of fucking weak beta males going around trying to get numbers, because the blue-haired women or whatever. I don't want to say cast any things onto them, but it's probably a great way to meet people, and so it's just fun, but it's not real change. And I'll tell you one thing: if there was a real issue against Trump, or a fucking mounted resistance that warranted the reason to overthrow him, I'd be fucking next to you if he did some shit that was truly against our Constitution. That's the thing. I'm not loyal to a party or a person. I'm loyal to this country and the Constitution. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? So I guess that's my No Kings protest story, or my thoughts about it. One other thing too, just it's kind of in the same vein, and it has to do with just like if people are upset about the ICE shit, right? I get it. Nobody wants to see people who were living here working hard, and it kind of goes back to my question I posed last week about if you hire somebody to come and do work for you and then get them deployed on Friday so you don't have to pay them. I think that's kind of scummy. But it's like there's a lot of people who came here because they were told they could, which even though it was against the law or whatever, but the former president had said, surge the border type shit. It's like I don't really fault people who want to try to come here and make a better life. But in the same regard, it's like people who are here illegally and never registered or never really are officially on the system. I mean, it's illegal slave labor that the rich millionaires and billionaires are taking advantage of. It's like when they say, Americans won't work certain jobs, it's because they're not getting fucking paid and they're exploiting people who are invisible, so they don't have to be provided for with healthcare and all these other types of things. So it's, in my opinion, it's and then if you're going to count them in the census, that's like kind of like the 3/5 rule. It's just ridiculous. There's too much posturing. I mean, the Democrats sold their soul to the corporations during the Clinton presidency, and the fucking Republicans never had one. So, or they did, I guess, when they fucking freed the slaves, but it's been a long time since then, because the only industry America has anymore is goddamn weapons of war. And but who am I to fucking cast a stone? Because what do I do for a living? Why do you think I'm in Africa? Although I'm not hurting anybody, unless they try to hurt me. I can defend myself like a fucking ninja. What else? Well, I'd like to talk about Venezuela and us trying to fucking start an insurgency or fucking with those people at all. I'm totally against it. This is another thing why I don't like fucking Trump. That cocksucker starting bullshit down in Venezuela. And I think it's a war that people don't really want to fucking open up, because if we have so many people from Central and South America within the borders of the United States, and they're trying to cut things along racial lines, no matter what they say or people say, that could be a great rally call for La Raza to fucking try to overthrow whatever the hell we got going on in America, because people only see it as white. And if you look at fucking Congress, who it is, it's geriatric white people, which, to be honest, I'm all for overthrowing. Those motherfuckers need to go either to a retirement home or in the goddamn grave for the most part. But the whole thing with Venezuela is, are they the ones really trafficking drugs? Or is that more of a Mexico sort of a deal? Or is that more of like a Colombia sort of a deal? So Venezuela, the only thing I know about Venezuela is that they got beautiful women, but that's all South America. And then two, oil and shit and other sort of minerals. So it just seems like it's also a reason to fire up our arms industry again. So I'm totally against any sort of action in Venezuela. Those motherfuckers never hurt me. And then besides for the fact, if Hispanics across the board were like, you know what, fuck that. Let's rage against, the American machine. And we could have a massive insurgency within our own country overnight if people want to fucking break down into like racial lines, which is sadly, that's not a direction I want to go. Because I don't want violence anymore. I just want us to fucking live in peace, like far entanglements but none, brotherhood of nations, that whole type of shit. That's an ideal world. So, and blowing up fucking speedboats when you don't know what the hell's on them, unless they're entering like U.S. waters and are missing ports of entry, it's like, then I guess you could say, all right, I understand why you would fucking blow the boat up. But if it's just fucking zipping around in international waters, maybe it's the dude who's got like, just fucking opening up his boat. I don't know. But the reality of it is, it's just that how we're using our military or Department of Homeland Security and stuff just seems like it's ridiculous. So that's my thoughts on Venezuela. Big news. I mean, I still have my place in New York City, and there's a mayoral race. And there's things I want to talk about in regards to the mayoral race is this, like, if you're just going by the way the debates play out, I quite like Zohar Mamdani's stance on just at least take a side. Like Cuomo's with his bullshit. Like they had a question where it was like, if you could go to a Mets game or a Knicks game, Game 7 on off, which one would you go to? Curtis Lewa, he was like, as a true fucking Yankees fan, I am not going to go to a Mets game. Fuck that. I'm going to the Knicks. And then Cuomo was like, or I like to call him Meatball. He's all like, I'll try to do half of each game. Like, and then Mamdani just ate his lunch. He was like, see, that's the problem. You're too busy trying to be a politician. He's like, he's got to choose one. It's like, I'll go to the Knicks game, Mamdani says. Now, I don't know if that baseball, basketball sort of correlation was used to like code speak to say who you're trying to outreach to, like blacks or whites, because basketball is obviously more black coded. But here's my thing. You can't have Game 7 of the Mets and Game 7 of the fucking Knicks because the seasons are entirely two different fucking times of frame. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you know the public transit within New York, you could probably get from one stadium to the next in 20 minutes using public transit. So you probably could have your little, and they would never block those two championships at the same time because of the fucking people who sell the advertising space, all that other nonsense. So the question's flawed in many different ways. But at the bottom, at the end of the day, you can't do it all, You had to choose one. And that fucking coward Cuomo, he fucking tried to he's like splitting the bike down the fucking middle. What a pussy. Goddamn Meatball Corleone fucking douchebag. And his brother's a fucking prick too. Fuck you. I think his brother's Andrew, right? I don't know. Or no, not Andrew. The jerk off who was on CNN. But either way, that guy's a fucking prick, Mr. Fucking, he outlifted coronavirus. And he was locking himself in the goddamn basement. Bullshit. Suck my cock. But to go beyond at least that question, Mamdani also said, like how many mosques have you been to Cuomo? And it's like, it took you 10 years before you would go visit a mosque. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's a bullshit question. Because me as a Christian, it's like, I don't want to fucking see a politician at my church unless they're going to pray. Take your fucking politics out of my house of worship. So as far as I'm concerned, just stay the fuck away from God because you're already godless enough. I mean, you might fucking try to go bless yourself to get fucking burned from the holy water. So I'm just against trying to use religion as a metric for political action because it's fucking soulless. I'd go and flip those goddamn tables over. It's like, and a separation of church and state. I mean, let's do that. And I think that's more to save the fucking church than the state because the state is fucking disgusting. Human fucking created and it's just trying to fucking manipulate people. And so I thought that's a nonsense question. To quickly circle back, I never gave what I would do for the Mets-Knicks game. Personally, I am a Mets fan, so I would go to the Mets. no shade at the Knicks, but it's just like I like the Mets because I couldn't be a Yankees fan. And now I know it's kind of playing politics a little bit because, everybody knows me. I grew up outside of Philadelphia. So it's like Phillies were like my team, and they still are to a big point. But like I've lived in a lot of different big cities. I always try to adopt the local baseball team because, they're on. I could go to the games. And so it's like when I lived in San Diego, I was a Padres fan. And living in New York, I became a Mets fan because fuck the Yankees. And but like the Phillies are like the old girlfriend that I'm always going to keep in contact with. I fucking still love the Phillies, but R.I.P. for them though. They had a short run in the playoffs. Football though, that's a different game. Football is like a wife. You got to keep one for life. And if you have to fucking break away, there's got to be a good story behind it. Like I could see if you're a Chargers fan and fucking Chargers leave San Diego and I go up to LA. I mean, that's a true betrayal. So, I mean, the fucking Raiders fans, I got love for Raiders fans because they're like the West Coast Eagle fans, but like that's being married to a crazy woman because that bitch is moving to every city there is. I think they're in Vegas now. So, but the fans, man, that's if you're a Raiders fan, you're like an abused husband and you're just dealing with your wife's craziness, just the way they fucking jump cities. But so shout out, I got much love for the Raiders, yeah, and because they're no threat to the Eagles. All right. Oh, but I mean that's if I were to fucking cast my ballot when I get home for the mayoral election. To be honest, I like Sliwa. I mean, he is working class. And, he was a fucking guardian angel going out and trying to, like, fight people on the platforms, kind of like me. So it's like, I'm about fucking Sliwa. I don't think fucking Mamdani's going to be a fucking terrorist and hurt anybody. And Cuomo is just a piece of shit. Fuck you, Cuomo. And your brother. And, I leave it at that, And God rest your father's soul, because, concerning the dead, speak only good. And the only reason why I hate your brother is because he's a fucking vaccine supporting cock riding son of a bitch and who couldn't admit that he lied directly and then started taking ivermectin once he started getting vaccine injured. So fuck him. And fuck you too. Because you killed all those old people in the goddamn nursing home. And I see this is what the happy hour is supposed to be about. Me giving my fucking obtuse takes, pissed off and just yelling like a little bit like a crazy person. I'm a little bit more myself in this situation. I had a slow start, but now I'm back to fucking going. One other thing, I guess I'm gonna not end on this, but so I was on LinkedIn, and I hate LinkedIn. It's never got me a fucking job. It's just like it's Facebook with more consequences. Well, that's what it just seems like. Because if your password is required to enable. If I can't access my computer, it's gonna fuck up my segment. Oh, you know what? It's because my fucking phone was sitting on my keyboard and it wouldn't do it. Anyway, this is really fucking things up. Anyway, yeah, LinkedIn, why it's fucking retarded and gay. So whether or not you actually are able to get a job from it, good luck with that. I mean, it does give me some leads, but whatever. People who post on it like it's Facebook just drive me insane because it's a bunch of like virtue signaling and it's all yay stuff. Because when I say yay, I'm not talking about the great Kanye West. I'm talking about like, yay, look at me, or how I'm just trying to be virtuous and stuff. And so it's like, you really can't be combative in that space unless you want to fucking blacklist yourself from potential work. And I saw this guy talking about some shit about like, oh, I'm a black guy in Center City, Philadelphia. And some guy said, I was walking with my 25-year-old son and some guy called me a fucking, hard R. And the guy, he trigger warning, racist words follow, but he even like said N-word. So I mean, me, I could throw around hard R's and fucking shit like that. Not because it's cool or I'm trying to be edgy. It's just I speak like I talk. And But I don't fucking usually call people that. But either way, the reality of it is, this motherfucker is just lying. He was totally like Justice Smolletting it. And because, and it's just, he did like a call to action, which was like, it's like, what do you do to, it's the call to action. What do you do to fucking fight racism? And I'm just like, I didn't hit send. I was waiting for it to do this live and then like see what the returns were. So when you come back, tune in next week and we can just have a little fun together. But basically my response was, how do I fight racism? Like, I call out bullshit when I see it, you know? And I said something else. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I call out bullshit when I see it, you know? Whether it's against me or whether I experience it or I see somebody else have to face it. And just leave it hang with that. Not be accusatory, but I found in life that if you drop an insult, the owner will pick it up. So, and I just imagine, even though it could potentially hurt me career-wise, but like I'm in such a fucking niche career. It's like they need guys like me to fucking be the muscle to fucking stamp out retarded people. Or I can train people to fucking, so they can do it themselves. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about all that jazz. All right, I guess moving on, we can go into the mailbag. Let's see if there's any new mail messages. Some mail messages. Let's see, where's my email? All right. Oh, remember, write in to Beaux's Happy Hour at BEAUXSHH@gmail.com. There is nothing in the mailbag, but let's check the YouTube channel and see if there was any comments from last week's episode, which is, you know, it's kind of fun. I mean, sometimes people, they don't want to fucking take the extra step to send the fucking email, so they'll hit me up in the comments, your videos. Let's just see if we got anything. Bloop, 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 bloop. Huh. I could have swore there was a comment, but I guess I'm in YouTube Studio. Does that have anything to do with it? So there I was, mindlessly searching through shit because I'm an idiot. And it just keeps sending me to fucking that. All right, comments. There we go. All right. Close. All right. Oh, it's not letting me see it. What the fuck? Close. All right. Oh, it's a response from my response. Thanks for answering my question. Makes sense. Except perhaps, I don't know what to believe, except perhaps the whole world seems to be piggybacking off the conflict between two groups of people who both been through the ringer instead of dealing with their own Western-generated problems. I've been trying to read Decline of the West by Oswald Spengler. It's dense and too heady, but his argument makes sense to me. Can't help you with the city, and I've lived in several and found little emotional sustenance, so I'm getting ready to drop out and live in the country and see if that is any different. Good luck with finding your new home. Oh, well, thank you very much, Cal. 2487. I think the first half of that was in reference to what I was saying about the situation in Israel and Gaza and all that jazz. I think the big issue is both people see each other as subhuman, and I've been there, and I could truly say they both truly hate each other. And yeah, that's just a rough one. I mean, obviously I'm not solving shit with my stupid opinions. All I'm going to do is piss off friends and family, which I'm happy to do in person, but to throw it out there on the internet, that just seems low class. In regards to my city and where I want to be, I haven't decided that yet. Like I said, for me, I never considered Providence, Rhode Island before, but I like the idea because it's closer to my daughter, Nora. And I like the Northeast. You know, culturally, I kind of connect with people more. And it'd be nicer to get away from New York. But I've also never stepped foot in Rhode Island outside of Newport. And that's like fucking old, rich white people, which, not that I'm against them. It's just not who I am. I just got to knock down that rich part. and I'm getting old, so eventually maybe I'll fit in. But yeah, it's Providence. There's a great Sam Hyde. He works out of Providence, and I know one of the guys who works for him, and I'm gonna see him when I get home from this thing. And if that works, if there's any way I could work with or for Sam Hyde, that would be my main reason to really try to grow roots in Providence outside of being closer to my daughter. Otherwise, I'd rather move someplace that's nice and try to attract the mothers of my children to come closer to me. And Puerto Rico, I think, would be awesome. I got family down there, and I got long-term goals of owning a boat and setting sail on adventure, and and you don't have to pay any taxes. Not that I pay taxes. But other than that, thank you very much for joining me once again at Beau's Happy Hour. Like, share, subscribe, write into the show, beauxshh@gmail.com, and or leave a comment, and then I will read the comments under the video at the next episode. Thank you and goodbye.